Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
Hi, I'm Monica Weitzel, the host of Community Hotline. MetroEast works with and supports many local nonprofit organizations. Each week, we spotlight a few of them on this show. Tonight, we'll start by talking with the director of the Rockwood Center. This community gathering place offers opportunities in the arts, culture, and more. Then we'll chat with the Blinded Veterans Association. With their support, blinded veterans can continue to be civically engaged and contribute to their community alongside their fellow citizens. And finally, we'll close by finding out about a new Gresham event, the Lilac Run. This half marathon, put on by the city of Gresham, is a benefit for local charity Family of Friends Mentoring. But you don't have to be a runner to participate. Get the details on the Lilac Run and much more on tonight's episode of Community Hotline, coming up next. Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. Thanks for joining us tonight. We have a full show, and we're going to start out talking with the director of the Rockwood Center. Here to represent the center is Dr. Laverne Lewis. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm real excited to be here tonight.
Oh, it's great to have you here. I met you at the Rockwood Center. I believe it was at Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving,
Yes,
right?
yes.
And one of the events that are held there, it was a annual Thanksgiving dinner for anybody in the community who needed a Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes,
right?
It was one of our partnership agreements with Snowcap, and it was our second year, along with Bruce, who leads the charge and setting up the full meals, and just, it's a wonderful, I think they have about 30 to 40 volunteers that come.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful community event, and we really enjoy partnering with Snowcap to do that.
Good, good. And it's been held at that location for about, I think, 16 or 17 years,
Yes.
but before it was actually called the Rockwood Center. So maybe you could tell me, Laverne, about the progression from the church that it used to be to the Rockwood Center.
Oh, okay. The church that was there was the Rockwood United Methodist Church, and I think they had started some talk with partnering or merging with Cherry Park. And so our church, Gresham United Methodist, kind of came together. They talked about the building and how to repurpose the building and to reuse it before it was just left. And so the pastor, Dr. Steve Lewis at Gresham United Methodist, and I think Adam, a team, went and visited the church, met with the pastor and the congregation. They held a, charge conference with the superintendent, and a plan was born.
A plan was born.
It was born, and it's just something new that has not been done before. of how to keep a building that is sacred, a sacred space, and then how to have that building lean into a community and be used by the community.
Very well said.
Yeah.
I like that it's a community gathering space, but you still have that spiritual component to it.
Yes.
Is that
yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. We still have Centro de Milagros, which is a Hispanic church that has been meeting in the building for about 10 years.
Okay.
And they are there. They still are part of the community, and they have their services on Sunday. One of the unique things about the Rockwood Center is it does not have a standing congregation, such as most that we're familiar with in churches.
Right.
And so that gives to how do we use the building and still be a sacred space. And then that gives to our vision of being for the community, how do we bring in the culture of the community. There's 64 different types of languages, and so Rockwood is a unique community in itself.
So it's very inclusive of the community that surrounds the center.
Right, and so through that, looking at the culture, opportunities, education, how do we have a ministry that celebrates who the community is, and so that gives to some of the programs that we have.
I like that the community itself really informs what you do, rather than you telling the community what they should be doing.
That's the old model, and in many, many ways, the community will tell you. They will always tell you what they need, and one of the things that we did before launching in, like many churches, of here it is, and then y'all come, it's
right. That's
it's
exactly
what
right.
do we hear? And one of the key things that was part of the demographics and the Rockwood Speaks and Rockwood Talks, that was part of the information that we studied, was early childhood education. And so we looked at the building and decided, okay, we have Sunday school classrooms, and our first tenant was Head Start out of Mount Hood. And we met with Pam, and we invited them in to create their space. And so that whole wing was gutted, and it would hold, I think, about 80 children. Wow. It is wonderful, and they came in. We brought in a contractor, and it is so cute. It has the little teeny sinks and the little toilets.
And that's preschool, right?
And that is preschool.
And it's it's so tough for parents to afford to send their kids to preschool because it's just, or to have daycare or anything like that. It's very, very expensive. To be able to have a head start there is probably a huge asset to the community.
Huge. I know Snowcat was very excited because there's actually a playground. It's fenced, but there's an actual play structure. We had interns in that put up a mural for the kids, and so it's just nice to hear kids laughing, giggling, crying sometimes.
Yeah. Doing what kids do.
Doing what, yes. And so it was just wonderful to have that empty space grow and be part of the community.
Filled with that joyful noise.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I love that. So what are some of the other programs that you have going on there besides the Head Start?
We have the Head Start, and one of our other programs that is really wonderful is another component the community asked for was programs for their children. We looked at art, but what really resonated with us was music. And because that is a program that you see sometimes in schools, other than in junior high, you have the bands. And so we thought, well, let's look at a music program. And from that was born the Rockwood Music Academy, and we ran a pilot. We put flyers together, purchased keyboards, ukuleles at first, and since we had summer interns, we invited the interns in to help with the summer program, and we had about 75 kids show up that first summer, and it was, and we were still putting in the carpet. We were still, laying in the flooring in the main room, and there we are with kids from the community. It was really a blessing.
So what ages were these kids?
From ages 6 through 14.
Oh, these are the kids. Are these
yes, okay.
The kids and the interns, is that right?
And the interns,
some of them.
On the far left there is Dylan, the music instructor, and then we have 3 of the interns on the front row, and then there's our kids from the Rockwood Center music program. The We do have choir. We did add choir, and so the kids kind of travel through the different pods. So you
Okay.
have keyboard, you have ukuleles, and it was a wonderful program.
Oh, I bet that was
From
fun.
that, I thought, well, we could use more instruments, and I did a grant with, for the first time with Gresham City, and we got
Was
a
that
grant.
your first grant?
Yes, it was our
Good
first
for you.
grant. Well, it was our
Congratulations.
grant for programming,
Yeah,
first grant
but
for
that's,
programming.
you know,
that was
a
like
lot of work.
very exciting, and so we now have snare drums and hand
Oh,
drums.
You know, that's
And
so great because they don't have music, like you said, in a lot of the you know, elementary schools and even the middle schools. It's just not there anymore. So to be able to introduce kids to that.
Well, a lot of the kids have not had hands-on, and so
Right.
this is a first time for many of these students. I mean, if you look at the demographics, it's about 60% Hispanic, Asian, and a mix, you know, of the demographics. And a lot of the kids are walking, so they are from the neighborhood. Very rare do we have someone that is outside, but it's pretty much for the community. And it's just wonderful. The library sends kids over because we put flyers
Rockwood
there.
Library, yeah, you're close. That's
It's right
too.
next door.
Yeah, that's right. It is right next door, isn't it? Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a great program. So you have the arts and music program or the music program.
Yes.
One of the other go ahead. One of the other things that I read about was entrepreneur program and your sewing program. What can you tell me about that?
Well, that's another exciting program. I could probably talk for hours on that.
Sorry, we don't have that much time, but
well,
yes.
I know. It started with, had something on one day that I had made, and a couple of the teachers in the Head Start program asked about it, and they said, well, do you sew? And I said, well, yes, this is what you like to learn. And this was not on our radar.
This was
one
just
of
a
those-
little
this was one of
conversation
those
you were having.
conversations. So I'm a sewer and quilter. And so I brought my little brother, and they kind of gathered around, and we talked about it. I said, well, let's do a class. Well, that class led to them bringing their friends, and we had 2 machines. And then I went back to Steve. He's the president, because we did form a nonprofit, Gresham United Methodist Ministries. I said, we're going to need more machines. He goes, well, okay. So he donated a machine. I donated a machine, so now we had 4. Well, the women kept coming and coming.
They wanted to learn to sew.
It was.
And this is
okay.
what it has kind of morphed into, right?
It has grown from. We do have free sewing first Saturday and second Saturday of the month for those that are learning a machine for the first time.
Right.
And from that, about 9 months into the program, I asked if there were any ladies that were interested in sewing to make tote bags for self-sustainability.
So they could sell them to make money.
And to make money, or to learn the actual business. The goal is not mainly to make money,
Right.
but to learn the process. So that's our educational component of how to market, how to brand, how to
distribute,
sell.
how to
Right,
the things you need to learn
Right,
as a
and so
business owner.
hopefully that they will gather those skills to go on and create their own business. So it's not where you kind of come and land and sell things,
right.
but it's a learning opportunity for self-sustainability so that you can be an entrepreneurial woman. And that has grown. We held their second table at the Gresham Art Festival. They were invited into that. We were so excited.
That's a great place to
And
be to show off some of those words.
They were
That's
very,
wonderful.
very nervous that people would actually buy their bags. And they make one item. It's a tote bag, but each of the ladies sign and autograph the bag that they
So
make.
it's an original.
Yes,
No,
yes.
That's wonderful.
It was one of our, that has blossomed into a wonderful program. Ladies with grandmothers with their granddaughters come because of trying to share the art of sewing. I mean, that's
Right.
kind of a lost art, and the women can't afford the machines. We just received a wonderful grant from Good Shepherd that worked with Montevilla, and they actually donated
The Sewing
4
Machine Center.
Yes.
Right.
4 cutting tables and 2 sergers. So that the lady, I know it was just
Sergers are expensive. That was a good
such
donation.
a blessing, and some of the volunteers for our sewing program come from Good Shepherd. It's just a wonderful community place to be a part of.
You're doing a lot. Now, I know we don't have a lot of time left, so let me
Yes,
go over a
okay.
couple of things real quick. I know we talked a little bit earlier about some other programs that are going on there. ARP has some tax services
Yes,
there.
we partner with AARP. I think Human Solutions, before their building, had closed, had the AARP free tax services for the community, and so I do a AARP site. I'm site coordinator, and so we brought the site there to the Rockwood Center. It's Wednesdays from 3 to 7, starting the first week of February.
Okay.
It's free for the community. There's no amount. We just are regulated by what we can do, like we don't do rentals. But it is free for the community. It's appointment only site, and that's one of our partnerships that we have.
Wonderful.
That's really wonderful. It'll be the second year. We also partnered with the indigenous community and had a marketplace on Black Friday. It was decolonizing Black Friday, and that was wonderful. Channel 2 News came and filmed a lot of the wonderful artists. From that, we have a lady that does basket making, and she's teaching now basket making in the class also.
I would much rather go there than to see the box stores on Black Friday, that's for sure.
It was very crowded. It was very well
That's
received.
great. That's great.
Wonderful.
We're just about out of time, Laverne.
Okay.
So tell me, is there anything that you want the viewers to know about the Rockwood Center that maybe they don't know? Is there anything you want them to take away from this?
The Rockwood Center is a sacred space that shows how community can come together to bring programs for the community to use in the day-to-day. I would say listening, it's one of the important centers that listens to the community and what the needs are, and rising to meet the needs where the community is, as opposed to creating those that we think the community needs. We also work with the community and space for their gatherings, nonprofits for meetings. So we've repurposed the space for venue usage.
So people can go to your website, get information on
weddings,
that, and how to
yes,
contact you for
yes.
that.
And so
Perfect.
it's not a community center, but it's a way ministry can be had in a community that serves the community that live where they are.
Perfect.
Okay. Thank
Very
you.
well said. Thank you so much.
You're
It was a
welcome.
pleasure to talk to you tonight.
Same here, and thank you for inviting me.
You're so welcome. Thanks for watching this first segment of Community Hotline. We'll be right back with a lot more, so don't go away.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mount Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
It's so important for me to have the right, be able to speak what I want to speak and talk about what I want to talk about.
If you start shutting this person up and shutting that person up and shutting this person up, that's not America.
Hi, I'm Benjamin, and this is Angie.
We're with Multnomah ESD Hospital School Program at Unity Center for Behavioral Health.
Every week, Community Hotline introduces you to local nonprofit organizations like ours, working to improve your world. Tune in.
Community television is what participatory democracy is about.
Like my friend Laird Ross says, it's the last great American soapbox.
It gives me a voice.
I'm glad it's available.
It's incredibly important to protect a place where all users of locally based nonprofit media have a place to speak and share their stories.
I feel like everybody loves music, and for kids like us in Rockwood to have something like this, like the tools that you guys provide for us, I feel like it's really important because we can get our, our story out. We can tell about what we're going through in these streets and stuff.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. And now I'm very happy to have back in the studio my friend Stephen Butler. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks, Monica. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. You've been here representing several different groups because you are so involved in the community, but today you're here representing the Blinded Veterans Association.
Yes.
Yes. So tell me a little bit about the Blinded Veterans Association, if you would, maybe a little history of how they got started.
It's really very interesting. The Blinded Veterans was a group of vets in World War II who were blinded in combat. And they got together and formed a small group in 1945.
Was it kind of a support group? Or
yeah, it started off as a support group, being there to help each other. But in 1945 they started. They were chartered by Congress, and we are, and still are, the only congressionally recognized veteran service group serving the blinded veteran community.
Really? Mm-hmm. So it's been around for a while.
We're getting old.
But it's a national organization.
It is a national organization. Okay. In fact, we have offices in every state as well as many foreign territories. Wherever there's blind U.S. vets, you're going to find the Blind Veterans Association.
So here in East County, are there a lot of people in that organization?
We do have in the Portland area. We have
Greater
about
Portland area.
In the Greater Portland area, I believe we have about 344 members currently.
That's quite a few.
Yes.
That's quite a few.
But it doesn't serve just totally blind. Low vision as well. Like for example, if they're legally blind, then we're there to help meet their needs.
Do they have to have become blind or legally blind as a result of their veteran service?
No.
Okay.
They can become blind just because of old age. Maybe there's a macular degeneration or something like that.
There's a number of reasons.
But they're still vets and they still need our help.
Okay, good. Glad to hear that somebody's taking care of them. So tell me a little bit about, this organization and why you're involved in it. I know that you have low vision or are legally blind, and I know you're a veteran. But you're involved in a lot of different organizations. You're involved, on the Gresham Planning Commission and different other community events. You're always there. You're very involved, Stephen. What do you personally get out of being part of this organization?
I love Gresham. I love the Pacific Northwest, and it would be unrealistic of me to expect it to stay the lovely place that it is if I relied on everybody else to contribute and everybody else to serve. And so our community is what we put into it.
Right.
And so I want to live in the finest community in the United States, and so I have to make it that way.
I love that. I love that sentiment because I couldn't agree more. For one thing, I think as a member of a community, you need to give back and you need to help keep it the community you want it to be. So I think that's a great example for others to pay attention to. And so this is one of the organizations that you help out at. What is your role in this?
I'm the president of what they call the Blind Veterans Association Oregon Columbia Regional Group.
Okay, so that's an area here.
It's all of Oregon, parts of Washington, and
all of Oregon?
All of Oregon and parts of Northern California as well.
Wow.
And
that's a pretty big region.
It is a very large group. But not only am I the president of the organization here, I am an accredited veteran service officer.
What does that mean?
I represent veterans of all types, shapes, blind or not blind, male or female. If you're a veteran that's in need of assistance in accessing your benefits, it could be medical, it could be educational, it could be a home loan. As a veteran service officer, I'm accredited by the Veterans Administration to sit down with you and help you obtain those benefits.
It's probably overwhelming sometimes. It's like trying to figure out your insurance or something, trying to navigate what benefits I'm entitled to and how to get them.
Well, they're government forms.
Yeah, and enough said. That kind of explains it right there. Yeah, that's tough. So that's a great thing that you're doing. Who can be involved in this specific organization? You said you don't have to be, you do have to be a veteran.
Membership is open to any blinded veteran as an active member.
Okay. Men and women both.
But we also have supporting membership. We have our auxiliary, which doesn't have to be blind. In fact, most of them aren't, because the poor blind guys, they need somebody to drive them around. and we have sponsoring memberships, and we have honorary memberships. And we'll bend over backwards to make sure that you become a member. We try to find a way because we have a good time. We provided Santa Claus throughout the community for Christmas.
You made a great Santa Claus, I must say.
Thank you. And we're there for veterans that are in our VA hospital and outside. We do hospital visits just to make sure that they're being advocated for, that they have a voice.
And that's very important because, personally, I think anybody in a hospital needs somebody to be advocating for them because there's so much going on, and it doesn't matter if you're young or old, you need somebody there to help you.
And it's really easy in Portland. I will say that because as a veteran, I get my care at the VA. And I will tell you, I've been to several of them, and our VA in Portland is one of the finest.
That's good to hear.
We get great care there, and the people that I've encountered that work there, they actually are there because they have a heart for service to the vets. And it's not like, okay, it's my job, I have to be here.
Right.
They're there because they want to be. And that makes me feel comfortable, because then as a veteran service officer, I don't hesitate to say, let's get you in to be seen, because I know that they're going to be well taken care of.
Oh, that's reassuring. That's very reassuring. So besides advocating for them, what are some of the programs or events that this association's been involved in?
We have outings where we'll take vets that are normally sometimes have a tendency to cocoon and stay at home, and we'll take them out to the local wineries. We take them out to the local factories.
So you do have fun, huh?
We do have fun. We, believe it or not, blind vets are still just rugged old guys, and they were warriors last week, and now they're disabled, so they're veterans. We have the Oregon Osprey blind hockey. We actually have a
Whoa, really?
ice hockey by the blind.
You have done some amazing things, I know. I have heard some of the stories of things that you've done that I would be scared to do.
Ice hockey for the blind is great because you can body check and then say, oh, sorry, I didn't see you. But it's a growing thing. Ice hockey is really big in the East Coast. In fact, I believe there's 4 or 5 blind teams there.
Is that right?
And
is there a league? Do they have a league back there?
There is, and we're sponsored by USA Hockey.
Oh, great.
And the BVA, they work together. And the biggest struggle we have in Oregon is finding time on ice, because all of the ice rinks are really booked up.
Right.
And this year we don't have any ice even on the street, so
yeah,
you know,
can't do it out on the streets. Huh?
But
that's probably a good thing.
and a lot of our vets, they go out and they'll do fishing excursions.
Yeah.
They do camping. They go out on lawn camping. But we're also there to support their social needs, because it's really easy to say, "Oh, I can't do that, so I'm just going to stay home." It's a lot harder to say, "I can do that. There's nothing I can't do."
Yeah, just making that first step and getting out.
Now there are challenges. Like take for example PTSD. Most of your vets have seen combat or they've seen trauma, and so PTSD is an issue that as veterans they're dealing with. And PTSD can be very problematic. I mean, it can really take over your person, and it's difficult to deal with. Well, a blind vet has all the same issues that he's dealing with, except now he's doing it in the dark. Your blind vet who has PTSD has no point of reference. So when somebody comes up and taps you on the shoulder, you don't have a clue who it is. All you know is that there's somebody behind you and that you've now been grabbed. And so you'll see the trigger is there. So we're there to work with our vets and let them know
they're not alone.
You're not alone.
Yeah, and that would be very, very difficult.
And the VA has what's called VIST, V-I-S-T, which is Vision Impairment Service Team. And they have a whole team set up to deal with the low vision and blinded vets. And they do an outstanding job. They really do a great job.
What kinds of things do they do?
Oh, we'll go up to, for example, American Lake and do a 6-week residential rehab program, learning how to walk. How do you cook without setting your kitchen on fire? How do you pour a glass of water without pouring it all over the counter? I mean, things that you
people
take
with
for
sight take for granted. We don't think twice about them.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like opening up a can of what you thought was beef stew, only to find out that your dog's happy because he gets an extra meal.
And you have to eat dog food.
That's right.
Yeah.
But there are skills that they teach you. We have a local representative, Paul Thomas, and Paul does a great job. He'll come out and teach you how to cane. He'll walk with you on, maybe you have a particular bus route that you take, and so he'll go with you a couple times to get you oriented so you know where you're at.
Right.
I mean, because we all get lost in the city, but when you can't see the street sign, it becomes a lot worse.
And very dangerous.
Yeah,
very dangerous.
And people cannot give directions. You'll ask them how to get someplace, and you'll find out that half the time they're doing it backwards. And, or even with people that know you, it's really easy for them to say, "Oh yeah, it's right over there."
Yeah, you just go down to the corner and you take a right at the red building or whatever.
And they point at something. It's kind of like that standing joke that when you're in Texas, they say, "Yeah, just go down to where the Dairy Queen used to be," and that's kind of what happens with the blind. And we deal a lot with homeless. We reach out. We support veteran stand downs. We do just about anything that a normal person's going to do. We just do it a little more focused.
So what are some of the programs you're working on right now, or what are some of the events you're working on?
Well, right now we're getting ready to distribute socks to the homeless.
Oh, that's definitely needed.
Well,
is that what you brought?
I did. I brought.
Today? I saw you brought something in here.
And I want you to see the color of that sock.
Oh, those are MetroEast colors. Yes, the teal and the orange. Those are adorable.
These are actually very, very nice socks. They're produced by Bombas Socks, and they have a program which I just absolutely treasure. It's for every pair of socks they sell, they donate a pair of socks.
Oh, that's great.
And now, if you're like me, you've got a sock drawer at home, and pretty soon it's got like overflowing, and then a lot of them that they're like divorced socks. You can't find their mate, and so you just kind of fill it up, and that takes a lot of space, and that might be even 10, 20 pairs of socks.
Right.
We have 60,000 pairs of socks coming.
Of the Bombas socks?
Bombas is sending us 60,000 pair.
That's a few more than I have in my sock drawer.
It's a few more than I want to have in my sock drawer. And they'll be here probably within the month, at the end of the month.
And so what are you going to do with those?
We're looking to partner with all of the organizations like, for example, Human Solutions, My Father's House, Snowcap, anybody that deals with the homeless population or population where they're financially challenged. And then,
or there's anybody that needs a pair of socks and can't afford it.
That's right, and can't afford it.
Yeah.
Right now, for example, we're helping federal employees that are not getting paid.
Right,
and
right.
So the fact is they need socks too. And,
everybody needs socks. That's one thing everybody needs, especially during the winter. Yeah.
And so we're happy because Gresham, Portland, and the entire Oregon area really has an outstanding support system for the homeless. I just need to get a hold of these people and say, okay, here's the day they're going to be here. Come get your socks.
Right. Oh, that's wonderful. So that's a lot of socks, but I think they'll be snatched up happily by a lot of people. So
I think so.
Yeah. So we're just about out of time, Stephen. If people are interested in helping out with your organization or helping, distribute socks or whatever, can they just go to the website and get some information?
They can go to the website.
I think we have your email we can put up on the screen.
They can send me an email. I think that you've got it on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we should be able to put that up there. So.
Or they can go to our website because my email will be on there as well.
Wonderful.
Or they can just stop this old blind guy walking down the street.
If they recognize the guy with the long beard, yeah.
That's
okay,
right.
Good enough. Thank you so much for all you're doing for the community, and thanks for coming on Community Hotline tonight.
Monica, it's always a delight to be here with you.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Thanks so much. And don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Community Hotline in just a moment.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.
The future is accessible. Everything we do today paves the way for tomorrow.
Como medios comunitarios, tenemos una parte importante en una cultura que está constantemente cambiando.
И нам нужно спросить себя, будет ли сообщение средств массовой информации в будущем одновременными и одноменными?
How do we share our collective resources within and between our communities?
Làm thế nào chúng ta có thể sử dụng công nghệ truyền thông chúng ta muốn làm cho tương lai của chúng ta tốt đẹp hơn?
Izazov za nas je da napravimo budućnost dostupnu za sve.
To start the conversation, join us at MetroEast Community Media.
So we're here out at Rockwood DIY, and our goal is to bridge the digital gap.
Upon completion of this program, they get a free computer.
Working together made something really cool happen.
Changing language.
Pay your bills.
Like Google, Chrome.
So that everybody has access to the
same opportunities as other people have.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here in Gresham at MetroEast Community Media. We're going to close out the show talking about a brand new event in Gresham, the Lilac Run. And here to talk about it, we have Sasha Cannell. You are the Community Marketing Specialist for the City of Gresham. Okay. Make sure I get your title right. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. And Michelle Costa, you are the Executive Director of Family Friends Mentoring. Welcome back.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So the Lilac Run, do you say lilac or do you say lilac?
I think I say lilac.
Lilac.
Yeah.
People say it differently.
Yeah.
But why the Lilac Run?
You know, first, we're really fortunate to have architects like our mayor and city council that promote these community events and bring these to our city. So I'm just really grateful that I have the opportunity to bring this to the city. And then when it came to choosing the name, it kind of happened organically within our communications office because the lilac is the Gresham flower. And so it just kind of evolved into that, and with it happening in April, lilacs bloom 2 weeks later, and so it just all worked out really well.
Smell so wonderful.
Oh, they smell so good.
Lilacs. You know, we have some out in front of MetroEast that's sort of it's not the big lilac tree,
like
but it's yeah, they're bushes and they smell wonderful for a couple weeks and then they're gone. But I heard that there was a special, like a
variety.
A variety, thank you. A variety of lilac that's made for Gresham or
yeah, it's
named
like
after Gresham.
A Gresham strain of lilac, and they grow them up in Washington at a farm in Washington.
But they're called that, right? They're called
the Gresham lilac. Yeah.
Michelle, go on. For our yards.
Learn something new.
Yeah, isn't that fun? So this is happening April 13th, and it's a half marathon, right?
Yeah, so it's actually a 5K, a 10K, and a half marathon. So there's something for everyone. The 5K, people can run or walk. I've had emails from moms asking if they could have strollers. Absolutely. This is something for everyone.
Yeah, I've signed up for the 5K. So I think I'm one of the first ones to sign up as soon as I saw it.
That's awesome.
And it's very easy, I must say. You just go to the website and it's very simple to sign up.
Yeah.
I got a response right away. It was good. So there's the 5K walk or run. The 10K is a run.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what else was there?
The half marathon.
The half marathon.
And how long is the half marathon? Half marathon is 13.1 miles.
I was going to say 26.2.
I know.
Yeah.
What's half of a marathon?
Yeah. And that's a run.
Yep.
That's a run. Yeah. So if people want to see what the routes are, that they would be running or walking, is that available on the website as well?
Yep, they can visit our website. Some of the courses are subject to change based on weather conditions because some of the trails that we're using for the half marathon and 10K are on some unpaved surfaces. We just have to be careful with the water and make sure that
if it's been really muddy,
we'll get through the weather.
Yeah.
Because we have our wet spring coming up.
Yeah, and we usually do. So where does the half marathon go?
Yeah, so all races start and finish at City Hall, which is great. We'll have a ton of parking, and then we have a great spot for all of our vendors for post-race. And the 5K will actually go down through Main Street and wrap through Main City Park and on the Springwater Trail. The 10K hits our Springwater Trail, the Weiss Trail, the Gresham Fairview, and the half marathon actually hits all of those as well as our Butler Creek Trail.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's really great for people, especially that have never been on those trails.
Right.
To be able to see something they've never seen and see a part of the area that they are not familiar with.
Yeah, they're kind of like our hidden gems of Gresham, I feel like. So I'm really excited for people.
I've been on all those, and I don't think I have. So yeah, that'd be fun. So Michelle, how are you involved in this?
So so we are lucky enough our program, Family of Friends Mentoring, is lucky enough to be the beneficiaries of this race. We have an amazing partnership with the City of Gresham.
You do. It's kind of a unique partnership.
Yes, yes. So our program, it's a youth mentoring program, and we used to be a part of a larger organization in Portland. But in 2016, from some initiatives that came out of City Hall in Gresham and some city employees who were trying to be or applying to be mentors with us, they actually helped us spin off from our organization, become an independent nonprofit, and come to serve Gresham and actually be located here in Gresham. So,
it's really great to be asked to come for a nonprofit to be saying, "We need your services here. Please come."
Oh my gosh! Absolutely,
we'll support you. We'll help you out.
Definitely. And it was so amazing for us because we'd had our longest wait list of kids that were looking for mentors, sort of located in the Gresham and sort of East County area.
But you were in Portland.
But we were in Portland, so we couldn't recruit the mentors out. We just didn't have the staff. So being out here and then partnering with the city has been a huge, huge benefit for our kids and our families. So we've been able to recruit a ton more mentors and match more kids than ever.
I bet you still have a waiting list.
We definitely still have a waiting list, yes.
Because there's such a need, such a need for that. I mean, I think mentoring is such a great thing for the kids, but also from the mentors that I've talked to who are involved with Family of Friends. It's a pretty cool experience.
Oh my gosh, our mentors actually, they're amazing people, and they tell me time and time again that they come into this program looking to help someone and end up having their lives changed by their relationship with this kid. So it was very cool.
So will there be any pairs of mentors, mentees in the race?
Yes, definitely. Yes. So we have a handful of matches that have already registered.
Wonderful.
A handful of mentors. A couple of matches are actually going to run it with their mentee.
I think that's great. That's a perfect thing to do, right?
Yeah. So much fun, yeah. And especially because in our program we want to promote health, physical health, but also emotional health and sort of exploring, getting outside your comfort zone a little bit. So mentors are really encouraging their kids to do that. And then I don't know if you mentioned there is the 1 mile.
1K.
Well, I'm sorry, 1K. So it's less than, is more than a mile?
It's less than a mile.
Less than a mile. Yeah. That's even better.
Yeah, exactly.
I should do that one.
Yeah. It's the Little Lilac Run. And so it's just a 1K that starts at City Hall and goes down the Y-East to basically to Civic Drive down in that area and then right back. And
that's for whom?
Yeah, it's free for children 12 and under, and they actually get a little lilac medal. And they just they visit the website, and there's instructions about how to get their kids all registered. So
and if you're a little kid, probably bring a grown-up with you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Must be monitored.
Yeah. Okay. We have these kids running off.
I know.
So we're hoping that a couple of our kids and at least a few will be able to do that race as well.
That'll be great. That'll be fun. Yeah. So you said something about a post-run. What happens after the run?
Oh man, we have some really exciting things lined up because of all of our amazing sponsors that we have for the Gresham Lilac Run.
Which maybe you should mention a couple of those.
Yes, I do want to mention those, and I have them written down just in case I forget. Good. But we have a presenting sponsor, which is Unitas Community Credit Union, and they have been amazing, opening a branch here in Gresham in March.
That's right. Yeah, I knew,
yeah. So we also have Owens Corning, Migration Brewing, Mount Hood Community College, Canal Construction and Demolition, Core Coffee, Eastwind Running Endurance, Powell Valley Assisted Living, Marathon Printing, and On Semiconductor.
Wow,
so
those are some good sponsors.
Absolutely, and they were also thrilled to be a part of this because it's a wellness event in Gresham, but also supporting Family of Friends. So a lot of those partnerships came from being so supportive of Family of Friends too.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah. Like Powell Valley, I know they support, I think it's the Chamber's Wellness events that they have, and so they'll probably maybe they'll have some of the older folks out there.
And because of all of those guys, the post-race events that we're having, so Migration Brewing will actually have beer for all participants 21 and over.
I was going to say,
but we'll have Core Coffee there. He'll be serving Core Coffee and some drinks and stuff for those that aren't drinking. And then Chris Cakes Northwest will be serving a pancake breakfast, so pancakes and links. For all participants and
pancakes and links and beer. And
I know.
That's kind of that's pretty enticing right there. Yeah.
Run your 5K and then eat good food and drink beer.
Yeah.
That's why we
sounds like fun.
Exactly. And then to support Family and Friends.
Helps you towards the finish line.
Yes. Doing this for you and your organization.
We work together as a community.
There you go.
Yeah.
So where will that all happen? Right at City Hall
You're
then?
right at City Hall, yeah. We have a wonderful patio that sits outside of the Liberty Lounge at City Hall, and so we'll...
Where that little Liberty statue is. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So even if it is pouring down rain, we'll have some...
tent covers or something.
Some safe haven for people.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so they won't be drenched.
Yeah, that'll be fun. But you know, in Portland area in Oregon, you get used to running in the rain and walking in the rain.
Yeah.
So
and sometimes you get those fabulous spring days
yeah,
too.
sometimes you do.
So.
Yeah. And it's when all the beautiful flowers come out. So it's all a good deal. So this is going to happen on April 13th. When is there a deadline for signing up?
Yes, everyone needs to sign up by March 1st to guarantee a spot, as well as a t-shirt and a medal. We are capping the race, so it's really important to sign up quickly because those spots are filling up, which is exciting.
That's
so
good.
For
so
everyone,
you've gotten a pretty good response already?
Yeah, it's been really, I don't want to say overwhelming because I'm excited about it, but there's a lot of support for this race and just people really jacked that this is at Gresham and stoked to run.
Well, this is the first ever, right?
Yeah.
You have not done this before.
Nope.
And I don't really know of any other races that the city
There's been a few
done.
other races around the community, but nothing that the city of Gresham has hosted, and so this is really exciting.
Wonderful, and they do a good job of hosting events.
Yeah,
You know,
I think so.
they do.
Yeah.
So, okay, so what are you most looking forward to?
I think just people gathering. That's why I love planning events, is just getting people together because they're all excited to be there. No one's there because they don't want to be.
Right.
So
right.
yeah, everyone's excited. Migration Brewing has been an amazing community partner to work with, as well as Unitas Community Credit Union. So just everything that they have in store for the race, I think it's going to be really exciting for everyone.
So Michelle, as the executive director of Family and Friends, do you have a specific use for this particular money, or does it go into like a general fund to support your services?
No, it does go into a general fund, but we have, since it was a little bit unexpected too, we hadn't planned for it like back when we did our budget last year, so we were really excited because there's a huge need. We have some need for grant writing, and so this money will actually help us bring on a contract grant writer so that I can focus more.
So you don't have to
not
write
do
all those
grants.
grants.
Yes,
That's a lot
exactly.
Of work. Yeah.
And so we'll let an expert do that. But then I can go out and recruit more mentors and have that time. So it's really having that effect, that double effect of helping us write grants, but also helping us recruit more mentors. So it's really been it's going to have a huge impact.
Wonderful. And while we have this opportunity, if people are interested in becoming a mentor, tell them what they need to know. Just capsulize it, but.
Oh yeah, so being a mentor, all you really need to do is you need to like kids.
Maybe help.
And be able to listen to kids and be interested and have a little bit of time, or be able to make time. We have some people like City Councilor Jerry Hinton and some other really busy people who make time in their schedule to be mentors. So it's once a week, you're meeting up with a kid. The schedule's really flexible.
And what ages are the children?
Kids start when they're in elementary school.
Okay.
But then that first year is the minimum commitment that we ask from volunteers. So
1 year.
1 year. And then we hope that they build a relationship and continue on, but that's the minimum.
Good.
And if people want to learn more, we're actually having an event coming up here next Thursday, the 31st, at Migration Brewing. And it's going to be sort of a tri-partnership event with Sasha and Migration. So you can sign up to register for the run, and then we're going to have a bunch of mentors there as well that people can talk to get a sense for what it's like to be in the program, and then people will get extended happy hour prices on beer and food.
That's wonderful. Well, I went to one you had at downtown Gresham and talked to some of the mentors there, and it was just like they were so full of just they were transformed by these relationships with the kids, and wanted to stick around. They weren't doing it just for 1 year and I'm out.
Exactly.
They wanted to be part of those kids' lives.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a hugely rewarding experience for volunteers, and
And it was interesting because there was young couples, there was an older, single woman, there was, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
No, you just have to love kids and be able to make a little bit of time.
Yeah, that's great. So what else do we need to know before I let you go, because we're just about out of time? Anything else we need to know about the Lilac Run, or anything else?
If you guys are viewing today, we do have a special promo code that you guys can use to sign up for the run, and that is MetroEast 19, all one word. So when you check out, you can use that promo code, and you'll get a special discount on the race.
Great deal, MetroEast 19. And real quickly, you mentioned some of the sponsors. Are you still looking for sponsors?
We're not looking for sponsors at this time. However, we've already had sponsors reach out to want to be involved next year because we want this race to come back year after year. So,
and do you have enough volunteers?
Volunteers, that would be awesome. So volunteers make every event successful. They just do. They're amazing. And so if you want to volunteer, we have spaces for that, and we need them. So, and you can see all that information on our website.
So if you can't run or walk that far, you might want to just volunteer, and I bet you get some of that beer and
exactly. Yes, exactly. There are perks.
Okay, sounds good.
And our program will also have a table at the event at the race, so you can learn about mentoring too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you both so much. Really appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Monica.
Looking forward to it. It should be a really good time.
We'll see you at the race.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much for watching this segment of Community Hotline and the rest of the show. There's a lot of good stuff going on in the community. I'm Monica Weitzel, and we'll see you here at the same time next week.
Community Hotline is made possible with generous support by Gresham Ford, the dealer with a heart. The Contribute to the Community program provides the opportunity for the Gresham Ford team to make a positive impact, serving their customers and helping people across the community. The Outlook, serving the residents of East Multnomah County for more than 100 years. The region's #1 source for information, The Outlook provides readers with intensely local coverage of the issues and people that impact our lives and community. The Mountain Hood Cable Regulatory Commission, advocating on behalf of the public interest on communications policy issues at the local, state, and federal levels.
And by Stamp Connection and BeFit Gyms. A very special thanks to all the sponsors who help make our programming possible.